All right. Welcome to the East of Elvins 310 podcast. You got your boy Travioli coming at you with another episode on Spotify and YouTube. If you haven't joined yet and subscribed, make sure you do that. With that being said, I got a special episode today. I actually have a father and a son on, and they actually mean a lot to me. I actually grew up with these guys. Mr. Jesse Dean and John Dean. How you guys doing today?
Doing all right.
I want to thank you guys for coming out here on Davis Crossing. We stay flossing out here if you ain't noticed.
I hear.
So, basically, it's a cannabis podcast we just did here. I actually rolled you guys each a joint. And John, they told me that you like sativa. So I actually got you an Old Lemon Skunk number 1. It's going to be rolled in that ashtray there. So we'll spark up here in a moment.
Far out.
He's gonna count his cash real quick.
That's how you do it. When you got it like that, that's how you do it, Jesse. I have to say, dude, not only did you grow up with my little brother, you're kind of part of our family as well. Like, you guys were best friends. I also was friends with your other brothers as well. Like, we all went to school together. We grew up together. Mm-hmm. The Dean name is strong. So I give props to John because he did a really good job on boys. And, like, I have to say, you probably got the coolest fucking name I've ever said in my life. And I've told so many people about you, Jesse.
No kidding.
Because Jesse James Dean.
That's me.
Jesse James and James Dean. Nobody is that gifted. I mean, John, you would have had known this boy was going to do something in life coming out with a name like that.
Well, he's named after a couple of grandpas of mine, so.
Oh, that's awesome.
One was Jesse Whitaker, and another one was James Dean.
This
Oh.
guy can't even turn his phone off.
That's all right, businessman, counting cash and turning phones. In fact, I need to turn mine on Do Not Disturb too. So, John, you're not the only one there.
It's your other brother. Want to talk to him?
No, tell him.
Oh, very busy.
So yeah, I would other job I work at when we were talk to, we ever would talk about some type of names or something. I'm always like, I know one guy that's got the coolest name, and it was you.
That's awesome.
It is cool, man. I mean, I'd be proud of that. I got Travis. You can't get more country than Travis.
Few items I can think of. Maybe Jacob.
Jacob.
I don't know.
So you named after your grandpa. That's cool.
Yep.
So cannabis. Where's it fall in line for you guys? John, you kind of come from a different generation of cannabis and have seen it evolve.
We never called it back then.
What'd you call it back then?
Weed.
Just weed? Whenever you talk about joints, do you say doobies, hooters, or joints?
Joints. I didn't get into that fancy stuff.
Fancy stuff. My dad always said hooters. Debbie, go roll a hooter. I heard that all the time growing up.
Yeah, I used it for other reasons, but had stems and seeds too back then. All I got was leaves, stems, and seeds.
How many shirts did you burn a hole in from having seed in the joint?
Not all of them, I think.
It's a trademark.
Not counting the car seats.
So we would roll this back in the day. Can I have that lighter, Jess? So we'd roll back in the day, and we'd put the seeds. I mean, sometimes they'd be in there. We'd try to get out the big ones. There'd be so many of them from the weed being stressed out, coming from Mexico. 90% of it was, you know. Mm-hmm. Like you said, you spark that up, and all of a sudden, pop! You'd be looking down between your crotch, and the seeds, you got a burn hole right in the middle of your crotch there. Jersey shorts, playing basketball. You know how many basketball shorts I burned? I think it's cool when I talk to different generations, John, about cannabis. When we used to buy weed, I come from a different generation where your son Jesse does, and you come from a different one from me. Do you remember? I always heard the older generation saying, "I used to buy 4-finger lids."
I was going to ask you about that. We would get a 3-finger. See, 3-finger was a lid. 4-finger was an ounce. I have no idea what a nickel bag or a dime bag was on the weight scale. Whatever that was, I don't know what it was.
They were dealing with such mass, they would just use their fingers, put it in the sandwich baggie, and weigh it up with your fingers. I've never seen anybody do that, but I've heard it, and I thought, how much cannabis you think was in there? But like you said, a lot of it had seeds and stems as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, John, Jesse told me that you like using roach clips because it helps with your shoulders and everything.
My hands are numb too.
So your boy Travioli here, I'm kind of like a MacGyver. I don't know if Jesse told you that.
Cool, I like that.
I've whipped you up 2 different kinds of roach clips, my dude. I didn't know which one. This one looks longer. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm going to give that to your boy
All right.
so he can put a joint on that and spark it up for you.
I'm gonna go ahead and give him the one I just hit.
There you go. Yeah, Jesse said you like roach clips. I'm like, dude, I got a bag of roach clips out in the garage, and I don't know why.
He whips them up in quick fashion too.
I did.
It's a
That's-
zip tie and
That's a zip tie, and I
Uncle
put a
Wood.
staple. It's pretty fancy. That's oak.
easy killer.
And if it works for him, he can have that too if it helps.
Anything helps.
So John, do you know? Back in the day, we didn't really specify sativa, hybrids, and indicas, but it seems like you might know a little bit now because Jesse said you like sativas. Maybe you like. Do you know the effects of this? Do you like the effects of the sativa?
They say it's upper type thing, and the other one's a downer, and I don't like to be sleeping, so.
Right. So it kind of gives you that creative. I can see that because I'm sure you like music. I think music's big in your family, right? I thought you guys liked rock and roll and music and stuff like
Well,
that.
Me
So
and Tammy grew up with the Beatles and Stones, so.
yeah, you can't get better than that.
Well, we got a lot of old stuff, or we used to. See what happens. Flood of '82 took all of our covers of our Beatle albums and stuff. But
Oh man, the flood in '92.
82.
Oh, 82?
Down in Fenton, we lived there.
Oh,
93 was Cedar Hill, and we maxed out the insurance, so we said we better go.
and that's when you guys moved down this way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember it was young, obviously, but I remember the sandbags. They were coming to the chat dump down here across from the glass factory where my dad used to work,
Yeah.
and they were bagging up and taking up to St. Louis. And I was like, man, that's crazy. Mississippi was getting up. Hasn't really done that again like it has before.
I was a little kid when it happened.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do. We lived in like a 2-story house.
Yeah.
In Cedar Hill, and it got all the way up to the ceiling of the first story. And I remember we came in. I think it was around Johnny's birthday, and we had his birthday on the second floor. We came in on the canoes and
On
had
the
his cake.
canoes?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 93.
I went in there one time by canoe, and I went downstairs. It was water, but I was up to my chin looking out the front window.
Oh,
But
my
looking out
goodness.
across the Cedar Hill, and it was all the way across there.
Had to be devastating. Had to be.
It-
Have you
well-
ever witnessed anything like that before?
Not. Well, 82 was bad too, but we rented that house. so-
You rented that? We just called the landlord on that one.
But I did see the refrigerator floating around. I heard this noise. It was the fan motor going blah, 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 in the water.
You still had electric.
Yeah, and I went over and turned it up.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
still alive.
In the water.
That's luck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, electricity's no joke on that, and flood.
I know.
I can't imagine losing stuff like that. I feel for anybody that does. The hurricane that just hit down in Florida and everybody in North Carolina. I got friends down there that are telling me they're still looking for their friends that live in the mountains up in North Carolina. That's got to be devastating. And then, because I don't have a lot of things, but I do have things that mean a lot to me. And if something happened really fast, I don't know if I would remember to grab them, but I definitely would remember in the long run not having them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of those things, memories they hang on to. So I guess living in that era of the Beatles and Stones, no one can take those from you.
All them bands back then, Led Zeppelin, all them guys was kicking up then.
So are you a concert guy? Were you a concert going guy?
I've been there.
You've been there a couple times?
We went to 75. Arrowhead Stadium, saw the Stones and the Eagles start.
Arrowhead Stadium. Oh my God.
And they opened up for them. That was like right after we got married too. I guess it was our honeymoon, what I call it.
My wife is such a Chiefs fan. When she hears this, she's gonna be like, "Holy shit! You better take me to a concert."
We saw them in 81 too, down at the arena or somewhere there.
I know Busch Stadium's put off some here in our home state of some good concerts, but Arrow Stadium, I bet as big as it is, as loud as it gets, I bet that would be the perfect concert. Like I can't imagine going there. It'd definitely be memorable.
I got a poster from it too.
You still got the poster?
Yes. They all signed it.
What?
I'm lying.
This motherfucker.
I'm like, holy shit! What would it take to get that in the studio?
I do got some cool pictures. I got to dig them out though.
That's cool. Yeah, back in the day when the cameras, you took a camera to the concert
Mm-hmm.
before smartphones.
They didn't have no kind of cell phone back then.
No, not even the phone in the bag.
Not that I know of.
I remember when my dad came home. I was 11 or 12, and we were going to Florida, and he bought a cell phone, a bag phone. This thing was looked like a shoebox, and the phone was about as big as that thermos that Jesse brought, and you had to connect it. I don't even know how it worked, but I know that it was so expensive. But it was our first time we were going to Florida, and they just came out, and Dad was thinking safety. Like, where did they go before? Like, how did people get around? Maps? Atlases? Is that how you? I remember my dad was a truck driver. I know all about an Atlas.
The sun.
The
I
sun.
Mean, you know your general direction. If you're going that far, I need to go north.
Right.
That's where Iowa is, right?
Yeah, Iowa is north, so that's the way to go. So, John, I also on this podcast, what I do is I bring people in. I like to ask them. I have 7 questions of cannabis, and it's just I'm gonna ask you and I'm gonna ask your boy because I think this was for jokes at first, but I've actually got a lot of people feedback saying they like the 7 questions. It tells us a little bit about personality and tells a little bit about character and story. One's a little weird because I told today. Actually, not. I think it'd be easy to answer this one. We'll go with you, John, first. How did we meet, and was it cannabis involved?
Probably.
I think it definitely was. I honestly think it was at that time. Jesse, how about you?
Well, we met through your brother Nick.
Shout out, Nick.
Straight up from kindergarten. Dude asked me first day I sat down when we moved out after the 93 flood that he was talking about up here in like 94, partway through kindergarten. Sat down across from him. He was like, "Hey, do you want to be friends?"
That's Nick, straight up.
I kid you not. He asked me straight up, and I was like, "Yeah." And it's been history ever since.
You guys have
and you're a byproduct of that, you know.
Awesome.
I stayed over here in the trailer with y'all a few nights. I mean,
Several nights. Swimming pool, basketball.
We share woods, you know.
How many straight through? Nick always said that, John. He said if we walked straight through the woods, I think we'd walk right to your property.
You would.
That's crazy.
So school.
Question number 2. John, what is your preferred way of consumption? Joints, bowls, bongs.
Oh, good old joints.
You like joints in the paper?
Mm-hmm.
I respect that. Something about the art of rolling it, breaking it up, knowing what's in it.
I used to be able to do that. I'm working on it.
Have you tried the rollers?
Yeah.
Do they work good, or are they still kind of hard?
I ain't figured them out yet either.
All right. I know whenever I broke my rotator cuff and had that surgery, I was out of rolling terms for a little bit, and the roller came in handy. It took a little bit, but after you get it down, the thing is not to squeeze it too tight, but
Yeah.
maybe.
Got a splinter. Pull it straight up.
Oh shit! I didn't
There you go.
sand it.
That's okay. It didn't go too far. No, you got it right. You got to do a little bit in the middle and fat on either end because someone's going to fall out. By the time you do that, it evens out. If you
Nice.
do it right, yeah.
I hope I passed the criteria. I roll blunts, honestly, but a lot of people choke on blunts, so that's why I rolled you guys some joints.
Yeah, they're a little harsh for me too. But a good smoke, as long as it smokes, I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know,
As long as it ain't black and moldy.
and then tracking and doing all seeds popping out of it. Shit.
Yeah. I assure you, the weed we're smoking is from my co-host, Show Me Green. So he's a wonderful cultivator, and he keeps the jars stocked in the studio for us during podcasts. So
Nice.
that's that lemon skunk #1 up there on the shelf.
Okay.
Jesse, what's your preferred way of consumption?
So mostly just bowls out of the pipe. It's
I thought that with the picture you sent me the other day, that was a really cool piece. Tell us about that.
So there's a shop up in St. Louis. It's probably more of a mainstream commercial type shop.
Yeah.
Because they got everything. It's like going into Costco kind of a place. I think it's called Soha or Soho.
Oh, okay.
I think it's off of Hampton or something.
Okay.
But they got the gamut of selection. You know what I mean? So
It was cool. It was very colorful. That's what
and
I
it
think
was
is
just
cool.
one that my wife Samantha picked out.
Hell
so,
yeah. Well, shout out Samantha. Good job.
Hell yeah.
It was a cool looking piece.
Thank you.
Question number 3. John, when and how was your first time with cannabis?
I think I was still in high school, and me and 2 cousins and my big brother was sitting in this 54 Chevy, and we took puffs of it, you know. I was looking out the window. It was nighttime. I was waiting for something to happen. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Back then, they told you, oh, it takes you 3 or 4 times smoking before it starts taking effect.
That creeper weed.
And it was junk, I think.
Yeah, John says it was BS weed. That's what it was.
I didn't see nothing. I didn't feel nothing. My luck if Haley's comment would have come by. Hey, that's some good shit.
That
you
was
know?
some good shit. So whenever you did get high the first time, was you paranoid at all, or were you just happy or in your zone?
I guess I was stoned. I didn't
Don't
realize
even-
what was happening.
You just realized that was you and where we're going.
Got hungry.
Hungry, yes. That's definitely a benefit to it. To some, not me so much. How about you, Jess?
First time I ever smoked was with your brother, Nick. I was
Oh.
I was 33 years old.
33. You know, I
Yeah.
hear that probably out of, I can't tell you how many interviews we've done, but a lot of people haven't done it until their 30s. It's mind blowing to me, John, because I was 16. But it was 90s. It was a thing. Everybody was smoking. That's
Well, yeah.
what you did.
Mhm.
But waiting until you're 30,
It-
waiting until weed is like it is now, is
It-
mind blowing. Can
it
you imagine
just-
the first bud you smoking and it being this seedless Sensimilia?
Uh-huh.
It wasn't legal.
Right, and I respect that,
Recreationally.
Jess. I respect that.
I'm a professional. I have to wait
Yeah.
until it's legal, right?
Yep. Yeah, professional. I just, it would be, the first time I got a purple bud, I was in Oklahoma, and it was 2013, and it was so amazing. And the only way you could get it was $25 a gram. And I smoked, like your dad said, that seedy ass shit for years and years. Is what I smoked. After I tried that, and there was no seeds in it, and it just was so tasty, and the high was so heavy, I could never go back. I stayed on it. So like now, knowing if I waited until I had all these options, where there's all these strains, all this knowledge, all the terpene profile that we can find out about now, that's like starting fresh 100%. Like you don't have to worry about.
It's been a fun journey.
It has
'Cause
to be.
I'm a quick learner, you know,
Right.
just naturally, and it's been fun to learn. We started growing. We have a 4x4 in the basement.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I'll show you some pictures after and stuff. And I'd like to check your rig out too.
Hey, tell
Oh,
me
yeah.
about,
Yeah.
tell me about the story about that purple one.
Oh, so just harvested one that we grew outside, and
Oh, okay.
so Mom passed away in February.
Much
I think
respect.
Thank you. I think I told you about that, but she smoked religiously, like
Yeah.
ounce a week.
Yeah,
kinda
she was
rate.
up there with my mom. They were, yeah.
So back in January, maybe December, we got the opportunity to smoke together, because I was smoking. She's always been smoking, and I got Samantha to smoke with her.
Oh, wow.
And this
Wow.
weed that we smoked, Dad found a seed in it. And after she died, I was pretty depressed.
Of
and,
course, of course.
I've been wanting to grow for a while, since I
Mhm.
went up into Oregon last year,
Right.
kind of stuff. And I finally just threw it in. I threw it in a paper towel, a wet paper towel, and then I got some dirt. And next thing I know, this son of a gun is tall.
It's
It's
taking
big.
off. It's taking off. And it was outside door?
It
that you
was
did?
outside, and it stayed female, because I had 3 other bag seeds that went male, but it stayed female. And,
Amazing.
Harvested it. It's
Maybe
just,
heaven sent.
it was just beautiful. I think the actual strain is blueberry, because it is a little bit purple, like you were talking about.
Nice.
And but me and Mom, we all smoked it together, so it's
Wow.
special.
Talk about very special memories being created.
We
That is
named it-
awesome.
We named the plant itself Mama Dean. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. If you would only known about cloning,
So
we could have kept life on that.
I took a clone kind of late, and I'm still waiting for it to pop some roots. But
Oh.
it's in water right now. And
Oh,
I
so
got
you
some,
did? Good job,
And I just got some
Jess.
Clonex. and
Yes,
I
that
dabbed
stuff's
it on there.
amazing, dude.
So 2 days ago, I just got the Clonex on there, and I'm waiting for the roots to pop still.
Hell
so.
yeah. That's an amazing story, dude. Thank you
Right,
for sharing that.
right,
Good job,
yeah,
John, for
yeah.
bringing that up. Because that is cool.
I almost forgot.
It's the way it goes, too. And after you leave here, there's going to be like, damn, I should have thought about this. But
Of
no, there's
course.
always more. There's always next time.
For
We ain't
sure.
going nowhere. The studio's her.
Cool.
I got a story about that too. I started working for a union job in '78, and I had to basically quit until 2016.
Oh, my gosh.
And now I started smoking this stuff they got nowadays.
Right, right.
And it kicks my ass sometimes.
Gotta grab you by the boo-boo.
He's got a very low tolerance, I'll
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Well, when you take a tea break like that, and then come back with super weed, that definitely is going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Then I got them all named and what it does and how much you can do.
It's medicine, man.
Question number 4. Jesse, we'll start with you this
All
time.
right.
Favorite music/concert event that you got to smoke at?
Okay, so I haven't been smoking very long. Maybe actually smoking a year and a half or so.
Okay.
And just haven't really been very many places. But I did go to Florida a couple of years ago. We were going to Disney World.
Okay.
And while we were there, there was a Old Red restaurant, which is
Old Red.
You know what I'm
Blake
talking
Shelton.
about? Yeah, Blake Shelton's
he's
restaurant.
fucking awesome, dude.
So Friday nights
Shout
they
out, Blake.
have they have a live performance, or is it Thursday? Whatever day we're there, they're having a live performance, and Samantha's like, we should go. I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's go. I don't really care too much for country music, but a performance is a performance.
Right, right. It's an event, something to do.
And this lady could perform.
Really?
She was awesome.
Hell yeah.
But before we got there, we just hit some edibles. I want to say probably like 20 milligrams a pop.
Nice.
And,
perfect dose for you.
Had a few beers while we were there, and it was just a beautiful evening.
Great memories being made and created.
Absolutely.
Ain't that awesome? Very chill factor. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. I've never been to Disney World. I've always wanted to, and I've heard older people going and saying it's fun, dude. You should check it out. So I might have to put that on the bucket list.
There's places for it.
I always think since me and Amy don't got kids, like I can't go to Disney World. Can't be middle-aged people and go to fucking Disney World with no kids.
Without kids is the way to go.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks, Jesse. John, how about you? Favorite music/concert event that you've smoked at or been high at?
Well, Stones and all in the 70s, we did all kinds of concerts. I can't remember half of them. But
Right. So
I did get stoned, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one cool thing, though, that back in them days, Tammy was a big Grateful Dead fan.
Oh.
They got all, I don't know, they gave her something, and mask or something, that said she don't tolerate very good, but back then, anyways, she ran up and jumped on the damn piano and sitting on it while they was playing.
Oh.
No kidding.
I wish somebody had a picture of that, but anyways, they put her in this little room, and she waited a few minutes, and nobody was around. She took off.
She didn't get in trouble or nothing?
No, they gathered up the people she was with, and it was okay. They brought her home.
That's awesome. Been on stage with those people. That's
But
absolutely cool.
Somebody's got to have a picture somewhere.
Oh, yeah, there was thousands and thousands of people there back in the day. I couldn't imagine going to a concert back in, especially, I mean, not just Woodstock. Like you said, any time in the 70s, that's rock and roll. Like, they were performers.
And back then they would, when they was doing something, they would light their lighters.
Yeah.
But they don't do that no more. They do the phone.
Yeah, we got the cell phones. Yeah, they ain't relight no joint with no cell phone light, though.
We went out there to see them, what's that guy play for Grand Funk? What's the main guy?
Grand Funk.
Those days. Oh,
I
I'm
smoke
bad
too
with
much.
bands.
anyways, he's a singer guy and everything. We seen him, but he was out in Steelville at that little hotel place. They play concert, little bitty. It was really cool.
Hell yeah.
Oh, they got the same birthday, him and Tammy.
They share the same birthday.
The one guy gave us the playlist, and I got a picture of him shaking hands with Mark Farner. That's
Oh
who
my
it was. Yeah,
gosh.
that's who it was.
Yeah.
See, I haven't met anybody famous. There isn't anybody I can share stories cool like this. Like people up and coming that are getting there, but like nobody that's actually been there yet. Question number 5. Favorite strain to smoke or favorite strain to grow? Your choice. What do you think, Jess?
Want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay.
Give Pop
'Cause-
time to hit the joint.
Because Pops doesn't have a clue.
I don't know all that.
Do you remember
fancy
any
stuff.
cool names back in the day? Like Durban? I remember some old school names like White Poison, White Widow. That's
We didn't call them names. back
never
then.
had it named.
I had some Afghanistan bud
That's-
one time. It
that's
came
a
up
name.
in High Times. Had a whole bunch of pages of different buds.
Mhm.
That was the closest one. It said Afghanistan. It was really weird. It smelled like a skunk.
Yep. Yeah, they faded away from those skunks back in the day from real heavy potency because it was hard to transport it.
I
It
bet,
stank
yeah.
so bad. Not that like weed now stinks, but like that profile that you're talking about, that's very unique.
So as far as favorite strain, right now, I mean, I've got limited exposure, right?
Right.
I don't know all of them. I haven't tried them all, but I would like to.
If you remember a name, it's usually good.
But one I'm liking right now is called Super Boof.
Yes. I
You know
love
what
that.
I'm talking
I know
about?
100%. But I've ran 4 dispensaries. You don't think I know?
That's a cool strain.
So, Super Boof is actually got as like a cross of clementine, so it's got that orange zest in it, and that is what I'm
Orange
going
peel.
crazy about right now. Yes,
when you grind it, smells
Mhm.
just like orange peel.
just like oranges. So I'm actually growing in my tent right now. I'm growing orange sherbet,
Okay.
which is going to have that clementine gassy note.
Nice.
So anytime, here's a note for you when you're in the city. Proper grows an amazing clementine.
Clementine.
If you ever find that, you will tell me thank you so much because it's just as good, or if not equivalent to Super Boof.
Gotcha.
It's just got that remarkable terp profile. Super Boof, even the concentrate carries over. So if you ever go to a cart, or as long as it's live resin, usually it's going to be really close. It's going to be like, this is super effective. Yes, I like
Right.
that and agree.
And as far as growing, I've only got one grow under my belt. It's currently drying. They're hanging up. I got a second tent, a 2x4 for drying.
Yep, yeah, that's
Um,
smart. That's what I got.
I mean, I live in a suburb. I got neighbors all around, so smells.
Carbon filters and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
carbon filters and Jill, and I'm working on getting a duct straight to the outside, kind of like what you got going on here.
Yeah,
you
I'll
know?
show you. I'll show you what I got going on here.
But
afterwards.
as far as the strains growing, I've only grown one. I think, like I was saying, I think it's blueberry. But I'm working with autoflowers right now.
That's what I'm growing too.
I just got. I forget the name of the actual company, but it's a German guy.
Oh, cool.
He's a breeder and wins all the cups, and just you get a mix pack of 25
Oh,
because
wow.
all of the strains are in
Are
there.
they feminized? All feminized?
Yeah, all feminized autoflowers mixed pack
That's
for
not-
$100.
that's not bad.
25 seeds.
If they pop, bro, it's worth it.
And
Because
they
that
got-
sucks when you spend $100 for 4 or 5
Exactly.
seeds and they don't pop.
Yes, I've been there.
Question number 6, and this might be totally new to you, John, but that's cool because I like asking people about new things. So,
Oh, you can call me old. I don't care.
I'm actually be 41 here soon, so I'm not super young. I ain't Jesse's age, but your first thoughts on CBD? What do you think about CBD, or what comes to your mind when you hear the word CBD?
What is it?
What is it?
What's CBD? I heard of it. I don't.
So
I-
CBD is it's under 0.3% THC. It's the most legal for over many years. That's the legal amount of hemp. It's basically hemp, is what it is. Gas station weed. Basically, any head shop around would be selling Delta 8 at that time. Not now. Now they're finding out they're selling Delta 9 and just calling it Delta 8. But CBD, it don't give you no effects. You can smoke it. It grows and looks just like weed. You smoke it and you don't. Some people get headache. Not everybody. Some people do, but you don't ever get that high feeling. You would call it BS weed, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people do. A lot of people used to say it was diet weed.
That's the stuff you sell. You don't smoke it.
Right. That's true. That's the way I was grown too. But now, actually, after science and everything, they found out combined with weed, with THC and CBD and 1-to-1, it can be actually medically beneficial. Not so much entourage, but more of a balanced medical high.
I know one thing. When, years ago, they'd always talk about how it would be good for pains and
Yep.
stuff like this. It works. I tried it last week. I was sitting there because I got all these aches and pains.
Yep.
And I got up a little while later and go, it was a little easier, or I forgot
Was
about
it a salve or a lotion or
Ask
It was
Jesse,
it
he
was
had
flour RS11.
RS11 flour?
It did it for him. I don't know what's in it, but we smoked.
So
the
at
joint.
that point, we type in Google RS11 strain and go to
Yeah.
Leafly and usually try to look at the terpene profile. Because when you feel that relief, John, what that is basically your body's getting the terpenes that it's looking for. Try not to dive too deep with it. But when you smell something, your body wants it, you're going to eat it. If your body don't want it, you're not going to want to eat it. So same thing with smoking. If you smell a bag of weed, some weed you'll smell and you'll be like, eh. And then other weed, like he was talking about super boof, you smell that and you're like, oranges? Oh, fuck yeah.
And
So-
then you smoke it, it tastes like garlic, and you're like, what in the world?
So after looking at the RS11, there you go. Everybody out there that's having arm pain, muscle pain, RS11's a strain that he's shouting out and letting you all know about. Question number 7. This one's the fun one. First time getting caught high or smoking by a parent, a teacher, or a cop. Your choice.
I didn't care, so I don't remember.
You don't ever get caught?
No, I don't remember.
No, that's pretty good.
Not actually smoking it, no. Nothing like that.
I got called out by my teacher in high school. That sucked. Because I was high.
I've heard the story on the podcast a few times, and I had the same teacher, Mr. Laban, and
Yeah, shout out. He was awesome.
he is cool.
He
He's a
was
cool
awesome,
dude. The way you described it, I was like, that's exactly how I would imagine it
Dude,
would
it
have went
was.
down.
He got so mad, Jesse.
Really.
Thanks for listening too, man. I
Yeah.
know he's a dedicated follower at Mad Respect. That's why I also wanted to have him on. We're
Yeah.
growing, and it's awesome whenever people I ain't heard from forever reach out.
From
So-
East of Elvins, boy.
That is so awesome. So, Jesse, how about you? Have you ever been caught high or smoking? And maybe not in trouble, but they were like, "Are you high?"
Yeah, I've never been in a position where I could get quote unquote in trouble for being high or consuming.
Yeah.
But I've had people come over to the house and been like, "Hey, are you high right now?" And been like, "Hell yeah, I'm at my house chilling. What do you think
Hell yeah.
I'm doing? I'm doing some yard work. I'm working on the car. I'm cleaning stuff, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm high."
He didn't have to worry about his mom and dad getting him in trouble either.
No.
What, and if, as long as you share, you know.
Yeah. He didn't even do it back then. He stayed solid. Nick did too. That's what was crazy.
His mom get mad if he had some and didn't share with her.
Oh, my mom. Oh, yeah. I bet. I know how that goes. My thoughts on getting caught so much. I look back. I always want to find those people that called me out or something, you know, and just be like. And it kind of happened actually. Like the senior. What do you call it? Reunion. We had a 20-year class reunion.
Oh, class reunion.
And I got invited to go to, and well, all their class did, but me and Joe Weathers, the owner of Main Street Grow Supply, we didn't get to go because I was running the industry and he was running the grow store, and everybody there thought it was funny that everybody in our class was there except the two stoners, and we couldn't be there because we were selling weed and growing weed.
Well,
And I know that had to be funny to them. Be like,
Yeah.
them motherfuckers are loving life. Like,
oh yeah.
I hid it so much in school, but with these blue eyes, dude, people knew I smoked. People knew I smoked. There wasn't no hiding it.
Yeah, the interview with Joe, that was really cool. I didn't know the story, and I knew Joe growing up.
Yeah,
Like,
you, hung out
me
with
and Eddie were good
Eddie.
buds, and yeah, I knew Joe growing up, and after he went and did his thing, and we didn't like keep in touch or whatever, but hearing his story is just inspiring.
It is.
That's
He's helping
awesome,
people
man.
every day, man. He's helping people
That's
all the time.
Awesome.
He helped me get my grow going. Whenever I got burned up, he replenished my grow tent and everything I had for me, and that was awesome because after I lost Dad, if he wouldn't have done this, I don't know if I would have stayed passionate about weed.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know if I would have bought another one and did it, but since he was like, hey, I got you, man. I was like, dude, thanks. So, shout out to Main Street Grow Supply.
The support,
Oh yeah, in the community, man, with the grow.
the community and growing, and oh my
Anytime
gosh.
you have questions about cannabis or whatnot, I know you've reached out to my brother too. But Joe,
Yep.
he's local. He's right there at Main Street.
Yeah.
His seed collection's dope. So I
Really?
don't know if you've been to Main Street Grow.
I haven't. And
Oh, Jess,
that's where
you
I
need to
should,
do that
I heard
before
he
you go
has-
home.
Yeah, I heard he was giving away clones just for
Yeah.
like
Guess
giving
who-
school supplies.
Guess
like,
where he got those clones? Off my freak show I just harvested out front. He came
Oh.
down. He bottomed up my bottom plant. He said, Travis, you lift this up, and he took each one of them and cloned them.
Yeah.
And gave out freak show clones
Wow.
to people that donated backpacks and stuff for school for kids that need it.
That's so awesome.
It is awesome. Him and his wife. Katie's doing big things too. So,
I just read about Super Freak, or what did you call it?
freak show.
Freak Show. Gosh. I was just reading about growing that and how it's just so different. Every
It's so
seed,
crazy.
the genetics and the phenotypes that come out.
It could be a short one, a tall one, a skinny.
So weird.
It is weird because you think, well, it's kind of like seeds are like siblings. Even twins might have something different. Usually their name, but
Usually. Those are all named George.
yeah. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for coming on. We're rolling up on our 35 minutes. I usually keep it between 35 and 40. John, I really appreciate you coming out and setting in. Like to have both of you on at once. Whenever Jesse reached out and was like, "Hey, you should have my dad on," I'm like, "Dude, I should have you and your dad on." Like, this is
Didn't
that'd
even
be
think
awesome.
about it.
It'd be more
Um,
colorful about 5 o'clock in the evening.
5
Yeah.
o'clock. So maybe we have maybe one day we'll plan a late show where I can
Okay.
get one on a go before it gets cold, and we can have a fire and do a podcast around a fire.
He needs like a
Some
six pack in him.
I need lubrication.
Lubrication.
Yeah.
What would that be? What's the taste?
Oh, I
Bush.
natural light.
Natural light.
I used
Okay.
to do bush forever,
That was my dad's.
so
And then natural light.
and a lot of people don't like it, so they don't bug me for it. You know.
There you go. Got to get a koozie to put over my soda. It looks like natural light. Then I'm a soda drinker. I can't drink beer. I drink scotch, but I can't drink beer.
I'm just the opposite. They don't let me drink stuff like that no more.
Yeah, I shouldn't.
Well, I'm pretty
Evolves too
isolated now. I can't do what I used to do, get nuts and do goofy stuff. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's why you're over here sharing your stories with us. And
I'm still alive.
well, Jesse James Dean and Mr. John Dean, I want to thank you guys for coming out here and stay flossing on Davis Crossing. I want to thank all our listeners. And
Yeah, it was a good time.
always a good time. Appreciate it. Look forward to next time. So now you
Absolutely.
get to think about what we're going to talk about next time. Maybe, like he said, an after hours where we have a couple of cocktails. I even have. Has he done any edibles?
He has.
Yeah, a little bit.
His tolerance is just so low. He's not big into experimenting with it. He's like, give me a beer, you know.
Well-
But
Well, what
that
if I
one
tell you
drink-
this, John? They make this thing called a stirrable. That's 5 milligrams, and to dose somebody, it's 10% of your body weight. So 5 milligrams would be someone weighing 50 pounds. So you're over 50 pounds. So it's a very low dose, and you gotta trust me. I'm a licensed dude when it comes to cannabis. So it's a 5 milligram stirrable, and I don't recommend this to everybody, but someone that likes to have a cocktail in the evening, like your boy Travioli, you can take the stirrable and dump it into it, and it turns that into a 5 milligram shot.
No kidding.
Yeah. So if you put it in soda, it's a 5 milligram soda shot. But if you pour it in a beer, that's a 5 milligram beer also.
Yep.
And it's a low dose. So I don't know if they make a 1-to-1, but what I would recommend with the shoulder pains, if you can find them up in the city, they're called stirrables and they're from High Five. I would recommend one of them, but be careful because there is a 25 milligram one.
Gotcha.
There's like 10 packets in there, and they're 5
Okay.
milligrams each.
Stirrables.
You
Yep.
tell him about that
Cool.
drink he come down one day. It's about this tall, about that big around. Got THC or something in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I reported the girl that stays there the glass, and I drank the rest of her like soda. I just suck her down, you know. A little while later, I couldn't hardly move, and he didn't tell me about all this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Same with the edibles. There was some left over, and we ate. There was 4 left, so we both ate 2 of them. Me and that girl. Then she got to reading the thing. It should start with 1/2 of one.
Mm-hmm.
So I go, oops, too late for that.
Yeah. You know why? It's because when you buy candy, you don't think, I'm going to look at the packaging. I'm going to eat this.
Nobody reads the package.
No.
Just eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do that once, John. Once they do that once, though,
Mhm.
next time they'll look at that package.
The drinking was a lot more powerful than that.
It was a 50 milligram drink.
Oh, yeah, the Keep Cola.
I don't know if it was Keef, but it was a heavy dose. Usually they're only 25
Right.
or so.
Yeah,
but this
usually
was
they
a
are
heavy
25.
dose, so,
15, 25.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks again. And until next time, check us out on YouTube and on Spotify. And if you are already, thank you. Peace.
You know,
There we go, guys.
Cool.
I'm thinning what I got around my house. I got some posters and some books.
Yeah.
You might be interested in. I don't look at them no more. Tammy used to, but I mean, once you read a book, what's it does to read it again, you know?
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Well, I'm a huge Elvis fan. I was raised by my grandparents because my mom's only 15 years older than me. So
45 at my house might give me, I don't know, a Tom Dog or one.
I got record players. This right here I bought for $20 at an auction, and it's number 57 out of 533. This is the original cloth movie poster of Jailhouse Rock. It goes for $5,400 on whatever, and it's got pinholes.
Yeah.
Because if you read this on writing, it says you're supposed to return it back or you get fined. And this one don't have pinholes in it, so I think this was probably $6,000 or $7,000.
Wow.
And I paid $20 for it.
No kidding.
And then I bought that Elvis book. It came from the same thing. And I read it, and his grandma's name was Gladys O'Million.
Yeah.
My
no,
grandma's name is Gladys
Gladys.
O'Million.
No
And
kidding.
my name's Travis, and he's Elvis. That's, I know. That's what I'm thinking about.
That's legit. I knew your grandma's name was Gladys, like I recalled that, and that's cool.
You know my Andrea, right?
Yeah.
She texted me, she said, she wanted to know, Joe, put $20. I said, what to do? She goes, she's going in for my great grandkid again on 15th, next Tuesday. And her name's going to be Oakley Faith.
Oakley Faith? Oh my God, I'm still recording on the other thing.
Oh, nice.
I mean, what happened to